my friends, and welcome back to another crochet pattern tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make a crown for your cat, because every cat needs a crown. Am I right? Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that we're going to need for this tutorial. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need is worsted weight yarn. I'm using this Mighty Stitch worsted from We Crochet. Comes in really pretty colors, and I really like the way that it works up for the cat crowns. You're also going to need a 4mm crochet hook, as well as a tapestry needle. You also need 15 beads. These are going to be the jewels for the crown. I will also show you how to make a version without the beads if you don't want to use beads or you don't have beads or whatever. Don't worry, I'll show you how to make it without the beads. Now this card does say that they are 8mm beads. It does not say what the opening size is. However, they are strung onto this cord here, so I knew that it would be big enough for my tapestry needle and my yarn to pass through. So just make sure that it's big enough for you to get onto your needle and your yarn. Okay, so the very first thing you're going to do is thread your yarn onto a tapestry needle and count out 15 of your beads. And you're just going to start stringing your beads onto your yarn. Now, if you do want to make your crown without beads, I did put timestamps in the description, so you can just go ahead and skip to the next part if you'd like. Okay, so once you have all of your beads strung onto your yarn, just double check, make sure that you do indeed have 15 beads, because you don't want to have, it's okay to have more. If you have more, that's fine. But if you end up with one short, you're gonna have to frog it and start all over again. So definitely make sure that you have at least 15 beads on here. Now we are not gonna use the beads right away. Basically what we're gonna do is we're just going to work with, we're going to kind of pull our yarn through the beads and work with this yarn until we need the beads, and then we'll string them on. But we are going to make a couple of rounds first without the beads. So we'll just keep pulling the yarn through the beads until we need them. Okay, so next, just grab your crochet hook, and now we are going to chain 45. Now you can make this bigger or smaller. Just make sure that you increase or decrease in multiples of 5. However, I have found that starting with 45 chains seems to work for most cats. Okay, so once you have your 45 chains, what you're going to do now is you're going to take the very first chain that you started with, and you're going to join this with a slip stitch, and make sure that you don't twist this. Make sure that this is nice and straight, that your chain is not twisted at all. And then just pop that onto your hook. And I'm just going to make a slip stitch to join this together so that now we have a circle. All right, let's chain 1, and we're going to turn our circle. And now we're just going to make 1 single crochet in every chain all the way around. Our chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so I am going to work into this very first chain here. And I'm going to make 1 single crochet in each chain all the way around, and I will see you back here at the end of this round. Okay, so I've come to the end of this round here. My final stitch count for this round is 45 single crochets. So I'm just going to join with a slip stitch to the very first single crochet that I made on this round. And now we chain 1. Now this next round is the round where we're going to use the beads. If you are not using beads, I'm going to show you first how to make it without beads. If you are using beads, just bear with me for a couple seconds. It's just a really quick variation. So if you're not using beads, you are going to make a single crochet in the first stitch. Again, the chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so I'm working straight into this very first stitch here. Sorry. And make sure you're working right into this very first stitch here. So I'm going to make 1 single crochet, and I'm going to make another single crochet in the next stitch. And now I'm going to make a puff stitch in place of the beads. Okay. So in order to make a puff stitch, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and you're going to do that a total of 4 times. So yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. Okay, now we have several loops on our hook. You're just going to yarn over one more time and pull your hook through all of them, and now you have this cute little puff stitch. This is going to be in place of the beads if you're not using them. Okay, and you're just going to continue. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to finish this round out. So you're just going to do single crochet, puff stitch, just like we started the round. 2 single crochets, then a puff stitch, single crochet, puff stitch, and you're just going to do that all the way around. And then I will meet you back here for round 3. The rest of the crown, for both the people using beads, people not using beads, the rest of the crown is the exact same thing. So I'll meet you back here at the end of this round. Now, if you are using beads, this is where we are going to use our first bead. So you're going to start the round the same way. You're going to single crochet in each of the first 2 stitches, just like I did. But now you're going to grab one of your beads, pull it up here, and just pull it up, you know, just pull it up here tight. And now you're just going to make a single crochet. It might take a little getting used to. Make a single crochet in the next stitch. The bead is kind of going to be in the way, but that's okay. You're going to work behind, so make sure your bead is up in front. So just kind of hold it here. Work into the very next stitch, just a single crochet. And then I just tighten down on it to make sure that the bead is nice and tight up against my work, that it's not flopping around too much. Now for this whole round, you're going to be making a single crochet in every stitch all the way around, but you are going to be putting a bead on every 3rd stitch. So you're going to do a single crochet, pull a bead up, and then make a single crochet here, and then single crochet, pull a bead up, make a single crochet in this stitch all the way around. So I'll show you the sequence one more time. So I just put a bead on. So now I'm going to single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. I'm going to pull a bead up. I'm just going to hold it in front of my work so that it's not in my way. I'm going to work into the next stitch, make a single crochet, and then just kind of tighten up on the stitch a little bit so that your bead doesn't go anywhere, and just continue that sequence all the way around. I will meet you here at the end of this round. Okay, so I've come to the end of my bead round. So now I'm going to slip stitch to the very first stitch of this round. Now, whether you are making the beaded variation or the puff stitch variation, from here on out, it doesn't matter because the pattern is exactly the same, no matter which variation you chose. Okay, so now for this next round, chain 1, and you're going to make 1 single crochet into this very first stitch here. Again, the chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And you're going to make 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around until you get to the end of the round, and I will see you back at the end of this round. All right, so I am at the end of round 3. The final stitch count for this round is 45 single crochets. So you're just going to join with a slip stitch to the very first stitch. Okay, so for this round, chain 1, and now you're going to make 1 single crochet in the very first stitch here. You're going to skip this next stitch here, and you're going to work 3 stitches in this next stitch. So you're going to work 1 half double crochet and 2 double crochets in this stitch here. So you're skipping this one. We're going to work in this one. So starting with a half double crochet, and now working into the same stitch, we're going to make a double crochet, and continuing to work in this same stitch, we're going to make another double crochet. And now we're going to make a picot. This is the little pointy part at the top of each peak of the crown. So to do that, you're going to chain 3. And you're going to make a single crochet in the back bump of the very first chain that you made. So the 3rd chain from the hook. Make a single crochet. All right, now we're going to work into the next stitch here. We're going to make 2 double crochets in the same stitch. And again, still working in this same stitch here, you're going to make 1 half double crochet. And this is the first peak of the crown. That's what they're going to look like. All right, so moving on. You're going to skip this next stitch here, and we're going to make a single crochet in this stitch here. Skipping the next stitch, we're going to start the next peak of this crown. So you're going to make 3 stitches again, 1 half double crochet and 2 double crochets, all in the same stitch. Now we're going to make a double crochet. And another double crochet. Now we're going to make a picot. So again, you chain 3. And now we're going to work into the back bump of the 3rd chain from the hook. We're going to make a single crochet. And now we're going to work into the next stitch. So we're going to make 2 half double crochets, both in the same stitch. And now we're going to make a half double crochet in the same stitch. Okay, so now you're going to skip this next stitch. We're going to make a single crochet in the next stitch here. Okay, so now to finish this round, you're just going to continue the same sequence. So you're going to skip this next stitch here, start the next peak of the crown in this one, make a picot, finish that same peak here, skip this stitch, make a single crochet, and then you're just going to continue this same sequence that you started here. You're going to continue this all the way around. I will meet you here at the end of this round. All right, so I've made my last peak here. I have 1 stitch left unworked. I'm going to leave that unworked, and I'm just going to go ahead and join this round by making a slip stitch into the very first single crochet that I made of this round. And now you can just fasten off. And you should have a total of 9 of these peaks here on the crown. You now have a beautiful crown for your cat to wear. So whether you made a beaded version like this, or if you decided to not use beads and just use puff stitches, this is what your crown will look like. Either way, I hope you enjoyed making this crown. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and please tap the little bell so you never miss a pattern tutorial or stitch tutorial from me in the future. Have a great day. Bye.